Hey, how's it going, everyone? And welcome to the first episode of Crewfee Break. My name is Aidan.
And I'm Kyle.
And I'm Miles, also known as Striker Echo from the land down under.
And oh boy, this is exciting. It's good to have you all back, lads. It's good to talk with you again.
Yeah, same with you, mate.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this for a while.
For anyone who's familiar with this podcast, I want to let you know, I just told the guys this, but I accidentally lost the original first episode of this podcast, so had to hit reset on it. So here we are.
It do be like that.
Yeah, it do be like that sometimes. The only episode that I saved was episode 2, and that was when we talked about, oh goodness, what did we talk about? Oh yeah, the shutdown of Rooster Teeth and all that. Jesus, that was forever
part of that
ago.
episode also, like, weren't we talking about like alarms or something? Like, I swear Miles was talking about like an alarm at his work.
Oh yeah, smoke
Yeah,
alarms.
we
That's
did.
right. Yeah,
We did talk about that in the
Aidan,
first episode.
you
I'm
were
pretty
talking
sure.
about another story.
Oh boy, yeah, that was.
I think we also talked about the Fallout show.
We did.
Oh no, that was a while ago.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
That's
a
how
while
long-
ago. Almost. Jeez Louise, the Fallout show came out what? Almost a year ago.
yeah. I think it was around April, I believe.
Oh
Let me
jeez.
double check.
So good because I still didn't watch it.
Well, to my surprise, it beat Arcane for being the best game adaptation. So
Oh yeah, I saw that
there's
at
that.
the Game Awards.
Yeah, good for them.
Wow.
I mean, look. To be fair, the way that Fallout incorporated like the game mechanics into the TV show, I think was done really well. So I will concede to that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. It's let's not. Arcane came out in November, so
It did.
didn't really give it enough time just because Fallout was out a lot longer. That's what I'm trying to say. So
Yeah, absolutely. It didn't give people a chance to sort of let it sink in and also
Yeah.
even more hype after the release.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But either way, both shows really great. Yep. Oh goodness.
Oh man.
So I'm good. I talked about this before we started recording, but I did mention I have a story about Comic-Con this year. Albuquerque Comic-Con.
Go for it, mate.
And so this was a lot different. For anybody listening, this is 2025 this year is my 8th year going to Albuquerque Comic-Con. And this was a very interesting one. This was much different than all the past times I went. And the reason being because I actually did volunteer work at a booth. Yeah, it was interesting.
That's really cool.
It's so the booth I was working at was for a acrylic print company called Graphic Panda, #not sponsored. And I was just helping this one guy. Oh gosh, I'm trying to, make this work without making the context too confusing. So someone I know from a game night group that I go to every month with, a friend of his was coming in with the company they're working for to sell their prints at Comic-Con. They were a few hands short, and so my friend from game night asked me if I was available to help out. And so yes, I did. And let's see. Thursday, went to the convention center, helped set up, then finished setting up Friday. Stuck around all Friday. let's see. Nothing really interesting happened Friday, but Saturday and Sunday was an interesting and learning experience, I will say, because again, I was doing volunteer work at this booth, and so I just sold acrylic prints with the help of the guy running it. And like, I've never done anything like that before. I've never gone to like a convention and help sell like really cool stuff related to pop culture.
Did you have a chance to? So obviously you were working the booth. Did you have chances to sort of go around like yourself and sort of be like on the other side? Obviously you have the people working there, but you got the people who are actually visiting there to see everything. Did you get to also do that?
Oh yeah, I was given off time to go explore the convention center. Oh my god, you guys are gonna flip out at this, but so this year at Comic-Con for the guest list, Steve Downes and Jen Taylor were there.
What?
Yep.
Oh wow.
Oh, get out of here, mate.
Yep. No, I'm not joking. They were both there. Master Chief and Cortado were there.
Yo.
That is super cool.
Like,
did you get a chance to talk to them, or?
Well, that's the thing, because it was like every year since going to Comic-Con, I'm one of those people who get really nervous when they're like nearby the people who they've looked up to for a long time, and it's just I'm a chicken. I chickened out. I saw them around quite a bit though.
You did physically see them though.
I did physically see them, yes. As I was just walking down the aisle, like where they were hanging out, like signing all sorts of stuff with other fans and all that, and it's just like, oh man, I wish I had something on me at the time that I could get both of them to sign. And
sign my forehead. Sign my forehead. I've never watched.
Oh man.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm never washing this forehead
cool.
again.
I've never. No, that is awesome. I can't recall ever like being able to like run into someone as influential as those people.
Yeah, it was crazy. And if I'm remembering correctly, because I do follow Albuquerque Comic-Con on Instagram, and it was either them or it was Steve Downes and Jen Taylor. They all announced that they'd be coming to Albuquerque Comic-Con. It's like maybe December, early January, earlier this month. I don't recall, but when I heard that, I was like, oh my god, they're coming over to Albuquerque here? What?
He's what now?
He's what now? Yeah, and I wanted to get an autograph from one of them, but unfortunately, I'm a broke son of a gun who has no money, so that was also partially why I wasn't able to get anything signed by them.
I mean, hey, look on the. I was just gonna say.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, in case anyone's wondering, this is what happens when we're on opposite ends of the globes. Like sometimes, like we just end up talking over one another.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, mate.
Yeah, and it hurt. It hurt a little bit, honestly, not being able to talk to them or get anything signed by them, but it was just like, oh, it's so cool. They're right there. But obviously I didn't want to get in front of anybody or be the socially awkward person that I am when I'm around celebrities.
I mean, hey, look on the bright side. At least you got to see them.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the greatest feeling, because it's like, oh my god, Master Chief's right there. Cortana's right there. Ah!
That's super awesome. I'm pretty jealous of that, to be honest.
Yeah, same here.
Oh yeah. Would have. Yeah, but it's if I am able to go to any other conventions they're going to, then I'll take my chances there.
I mean, geez, you could only imagine the sort of, I'm gonna use the word hype that they had, those two in particular, when like the first Halo came out, or Halo 2 around that time. Like any sort of Comic-Con or and whether it was E-Fest, stuff like that, like I could not imagine how much longer the lines could be. I mean, obviously people know them now, but like at the prime, like when the games were coming out, that would have been crazy.
Well, what's crazy too is Steve Downs mentioned in an interview years ago that for him, when he finished his work on the first Halo, it was like just another job to him. But then one day, like he was watching, I think it was like a niece or something, just some kid like playing Halo, and the kid was like wondering, "Hey, isn't that your voice?" And he's just like, yeah, I think that is." And then like about 20 minutes later, like a bunch of kids with their Xboxes just came around to his apartment to have them signed. Like that's how big Halo became after the first one came out.
Totally. What are like so obviously like with Halo, for all three of us, I mean, I think it's obvious enough that it's impactful enough that we've discussed it enough. But like, what are like some other games that like we can easily pick out from like around that time? Yeah, that was childhood. It's easy.
Oh
goodness. Oh goodness.
And if it helps, like you could even break it down by console, or like, okay, I played it on PC, I played it on Xbox, PlayStation, I played it on Wii, I played it on like a DS or something. Like there's obviously so many different ways you could break it down. Actually,
I do have one game in mind. Did any of you guys play the Lego Star Wars video game?
Oh my god, the complete saga?
No. This was before the complete saga. I mean, yeah, there was the complete saga, but there was like
you're talking the original, right?
Like the very first one.
Yep.
Yeah, because that came out 20 years ago. Yeah, I am not kidding. Yeah. It was like
that was it was 4 through 6, right? No, or it was just 4, right? I can't remember.
No. So like when the very first Lego Star Wars video game came out, this was like episodes 1 to 3. And then like
I was reversing them because I do remember the cover art for it.
Yeah. So
it has Anakin on the front, like the lava in the background.
Yeah, and Darth Vader and all that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that like 2005 was like a big year to be a Star Wars fan. Like you had Revenge of the Sith, the video game adaptation, Republic Commando, Lego Star Wars the video game, and to top it all off, of the Star Wars pretty much golden year, Star Wars Battlefront 2. Like that,
man.
Like it. If you did,
insane lineup.
It is like if you didn't have that game, or at least rented it when you were a kid, then I hate to say this, I don't know what the fuck you were doing with your life.
I mean, I was still in diapers, which may have been an issue, but I get what you're saying, though.
That's fair enough.
That definitely was a time to be a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Lego games did get better with like, the complete saga. The original trilogy and then the complete saga, which is the definitive way to play the Lego Star Wars games.
Yes.
Was it the complete saga 2008, 2009, something like
that? I think it was 2000.
It was a while ago, though.
I think it was 2007. I think it is.
Okay, yeah. Wow.
2007, yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez, that was.
No, yeah, I recall playing that on the Wii. But
yeah, I did too.
All these years later, I've been going back to like some of those older Lego games, but I've been playing them on Xbox, and there's like such a huge difference in fidelity. Like I always thought, oh, it's such an old game on the Wii. Surely that's why it's all blurry, not. The Xbox One is so crispy. It's just because the Wii just was not a powerhouse at the time.
No, but it was just a fun console to play on. Like it just had first party and third party games just in a nice package.
Yeah, it was all the motion control that they brought to it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what made it even better when playing on the Wii.
Oh, that reminds me. Then Wii Sports had to be up there for me.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh dude. Oh man.
It's an impossible miss on my list.
Like I didn't have a Wii myself, but whenever I went to a friend's house, they had Wii Sports, and that shit was fun as.
Exactly.
Same with Wii Sports Resort.
You and me both, man. That was man. That's cause I had the same exact situation. It was like going over to a friend's house. We would go down to the basement, and we would just play all the Wii games, including Wii Sports.
No. Did you end up playing Mario Kart?
Hell yeah, dude. That was the shit, man.
Like, you didn't grow up if you never played that.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's me and some of my friends, we still consider it to be the definitive Mario Kart game. Like it's just so much fun.
Yeah.
No, I remember when I first started playing that when I was little, and I think I forgot if like you know how you do Grand Prix in that game, which is essentially like the main single player mode.
Yeah.
Like my goal was to get like rank A and like gold stars for like every single cup. And if I recall,
man.
I think I did like 8 cups. I think I did like 7 of them, and I just could not get the last one. I don't remember. I think that's the one with Rainbow Road.
Oh, a Rainbow Road can just.
Rainbow
You know what?
Road.
I'm not gonna say.
The most notorious Mario Kart track, no matter what game it is.
Every time me and my friends would play on that track, like I would most likely scream because I'd be like, "Oh, I'm falling to Antarctica! Oh, I'm falling to America! Oh, I'm falling to Australia!" and so forth. Like,
wow,
it was because there was no rails, and also like.
Yep.
When I was playing that game, like I had to like steer the remote, like as if I was on a driving wheel. Whereas like one of my friends, who owned the Wii, he played it with a nunchuck, and I'm just like, boo!
Oh jeez.
Steer like a man, bitch.
Exactly. Yeah, dude, I totally recall so many times I'd play with people who would they would turn the remote so far that it'd be upside down, and the problem is that once the remote turns upside down, it inverts your steering in the game.
Oh boy!
Times I'd be playing with someone, and they just start raging, and they're like, "I'm turning it right, man." I'm like, "Dude, you're upside down at this point. What are you doing?" It's like a classic 6-year-old, 7-year-old core memory for
me. Yeah.
Just be like, "Fucking steer!
Steer, God damn it!
Why won't you steer?
Why?"
Something I never realized about, like, if you use something like a motorcycle too, is that obviously you can turn the remote left and right to steer.
Yeah.
But if you rotate it front to back, that angles, like if you do a wheelie on the motorcycle, or like, anyways, these are things like I didn't find out until like 10 years later when I went back to the game. I was like, oh my god, this is why I had problems with such and such vehicle. It's like a weird realization.
That is nuts.
Wow. I did not know that either. Wow.
I would say probably the greatest realization is taking advantage of the reverse button. That you honestly become a pro once you start to actually use the brakes in the game. Because when you're little, it's all gas and go. I mean, who stops in that game?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For me, I was all about drifting. Like, just get a bike and just drift for days. Like, that was my jam.
I never knew how to drift when I was little.
Yeah, same here. As a kid, it wasn't the most fun doing all the manual drifting and all that, but now that I've played Mario Kart 8, it's like, I go back to Mario Kart Wii, and it's like, what the heck? I'll do manual.
Yeah. Manual's just the way to go. Like, if you play it on automatic, which, I mean, look, if you're playing Mario Kart for the first time, I get it, but if you've played enough Mario Kart and you're still on automatic, then I'm just here to say, what are you doing, mate? What are you doing with your life? You can do manual. You can do manual. You drive stick, right? Right?
Right.
Fucking drive stick.
Like in the last 1.5 years, I've like gotten more into physical media and going back and like getting deals on games I've never played. And there's one store that's been doing good, and they're all business. But I recall many where like when I was little, I wish I actually went to those because I could have gotten the opportunity to play so many different things.
When you're a kid and you're playing like these games, it's like they would take hours to do because you probably had like you were only allowed to play like video games for a certain amount of time before your parents are like, all right, time to get off and so forth. And now as an adult, like a lot of them that would take days to complete, you now could finish in like a bloody afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
True, but also something I realized is just how terrible I was at certain games when I was little. And
oh yeah, same.
Later, it's a piece of cake.
Yeah.
I wish I could say the same about New Super Mario Bros. Wii when I started playing it again months ago.
Still...
Because it took me, my dad, and my sister a good, like maybe like couple weeks or so just to get it done. Well, one, because we all had our lives, but two, it was just like just goofing around in the game.
Yeah, you had to be well coordinated in that. Otherwise, you just be struggling. Like, I remember when me and some people I'd known since primary school, we would play that, and we would just be fucking around. Like, there was a thing for like 2 years where they would just pick me up and just throw me into lava, and I didn't know how to pick people up. Like, they would never tell me how to do. How they every time we would play it, one of them would just pick me up and just throw me into lava. And I'm just like, why? Like, why? And I had no idea how to do that for 2 years or something like that. And then when I finally found out, I'm like, power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
Up to them and like shake your remote.
Yeah. But I didn't know about that for a long time. Like,
oh yeah, that's not something I ever knew until way later.
I would just be like, they pick me up, throw me in the lava, and I'm just like, you fucking piece of shit. Like, why? And they're like, because it's funny.
Well, and that's the thing, too, because I would do something similar to my younger sister. When we started replaying it, recently, she would just, like, give me the death stare. Like, literally, like, I swear to God, if you pick me up and then throw me, you will never hear the end of it.
The only thing that would give someone a death star like that is if you blue shelled them in Mario Kart. That is the pure definition of like, I am going to massacre you.
Yep.
I will fuck you up.
Like, am I about to cross on the third lap and
hit? Like, that is the worst
situation.
Oh, jeez.
I have had that happen to me, and holy cow, I have never felt such pure rage until that happened. Yeah.
Wow.
Even another group of friends that whenever we would play Mario Kart, one would just get so competitive and it'd just be like, I am going to fuck you up and so forth. And we're all just like, all right, chill, it's just a game. And whenever they would get red shelled, they'd be screaming their asses off. like thankfully not like accidentally throw the Wii remote to the screen.
Oh, thank goodness.
If you did Wii Sports Bowling, that probably may or may not have happened.
Same thing, yeah. Make sure you install your wrist strap on before playing this game.
Yeah. I love how Nintendo has to put up all these like stupid signs to say, hey, don't do this stupid shit. Like, don't put a Wii remote in a microwave. Don't put it in a toaster. Make sure you have the strap on, but when you do bowling, make sure that that no one is in your vicinity in case you don't want to end up punching someone in the face with the Wii remote, and so forth.
Yeah, there's so many videos of people just absolutely hucking that remote into whatever's in front of them, whether it's a TV or the ceiling above them.
Yeah,
and the great part is that the remote is fine. Just whatever you threw at is not okay anymore.
I mean, those bad boys were indestructible, basically. Same couldn't be said for your TV. Rest in peace. If you ended up breaking one.
Well, it depends, because like if you have like a new flat screen, then yes, it's gone.
Oh yeah.
Like some of the old box TVs, at least like I remember when I was really, really little, before my family got our first flat screen, it was really little. We had like an old box TV. That thing was sort of indestructible in some ways. Granted, I never threw anything at it, but just I have this good feeling about it.
We used to have box TVs as well in the 2000s. Like those bad boys were so fucking heavy though. Like our biggest screen, it's like you. I'll go ahead.
No, yeah, we also I remember just like the depth. Like if you think about like how far back the TV went, like you got the screen, but then the amount of just machine behind it. I mean, we're talking like 2 feet back at least of just. Oh my God. In my at my parents' house, in the basement there was a room that was like once an office, and now it's sort of been like converted into another sort of room. But essentially, in the corner though is my parents' old PC, and it's an old box screen. It's like it was made by Dell, and it's just sitting there, and it's hooked up to like an old Mac that was from.
Oh yeah, I remember that when I visited.
It's just from like 2002, and once in a while I'll go down and boot that thing up, and man, that is like a time travel machine. Like I feel like, because anytime you like see like an old box monitor or anything like that, it's always like in a movie where it's like, I always think of like an old bunker for like the government. Like, okay, this is like a closed off second. It's like always like something where like we have to like resort to like these means to be able to like do whatever we're doing.
Pretty much, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I remember having like those box monitor PCs and all that, like, and also like the old Windows XP startup and shutdown noise.
Oh my God!
Oh man,
that was so good.
Yeah,
like it would take like
growing up on XP and Vista. Those were like the two I really.
Yep. I'm familiar with XP.
Yeah, I had Vista for a little bit, and then I'm like, I want to get out of this. Please give me Windows 7. And I didn't get Windows 7 till 2013, so I was very late to the party.
Oh, man.
And, oh yeah, by that point, I was in high school, and then our school initially had this laptop program where when you got to grade 9, you would be given, like, these laptops to rent till the end of high school. And... But the thing is, we didn't even get laptops. We basically got tablets that just had keyboards attached to them. And holy shit, they were so bad. Like, we had like Windows 8 tablets, and they only had one USB port. And
nice.
So like so you had to get like an external a USB thing. Yeah, USB hub, yeah. And like, oh man, like the first session we had them, it was so bad because the thing is the keyboards weren't charged, so you had to charge them during class. And the problem is, if you did that, then your battery would drain as well. So you had to charge the battery as well.
Oh, good grief.
And the thing is, like, we weren't used to like using a touchpad and all that. Like, I mean, we had, like, iPads and all that growing up, but, like, having to do work on a touchscreen tablet, we were like, what the fuck? We'd rather have a mouse and keyboard. It was, it took a while to get used to.
Aiden, do you recall Chromebooks? Do you remember those?
Oh, my God.
Chromebooks. Are you familiar with Chromebooks?
No, I think they ring a bell, but do go on.
So, essentially, they're Google's, like, cheap laptop, and they're really, at least here in the US, they are really common to be found as like school laptops.
Yeah,
all schools across the United States buy them because they're cheap, they're easy, they're replaceable. The unfortunate thing though is that they will take about 3 to 5 business days to make a Google search. So while you sit there waiting to complete an assignment, your computer will use its battery up before it finishes. So anyways, Aiden remembers our schools would buy these cartfuls.
Oh yeah, they would.
And so when like your class, your teacher's like, hey, today we want to do some stuff on the laptops, they would like check out the cart from like our technology room, and they would wheel that big ass sucker cart to the classroom, and then everyone would get one of these Chromebooks. And these things, like, once you open more than 3 tabs on Google, it crashes essentially. Like those things. And what's so funny is that was for me like 10 years ago. The computers that like they still put out use like the same processors because that's how cheap they are. They're just so bad.
Mm-hmm. I would not be surprised if those Chromebooks had like 4 gigabytes, if not less, of RAM. Like that probably would be the reason why.
No, yeah, I think it's 2 to 4 because they use
man.
they use some Intel chip called like it's either like Celian or Selene. I don't know, but they've been using the same thing for like ever, and I'm sure it's just to be cost effective, but it comes at a cost of student saneness, I think.
Yeah, that's.
Oh my god!
Oh man!
I don't know about you, but so many people because some students who goof around knew that the Chromebooks were like $50 a piece somehow. I mean, obviously they were more than that. There would be students who would just like sort of just essentially destroy them. Everyone take your Chromebooks home for the weekend, work on this project. And some students would just come with like, they're like, hey, look at my computer. It's in 2 pieces. Here's the monitor. Here's the keyboard.
Oh no!
And then, or there'd be some people who like, there's the framing around the screen itself. They're like, hey, guess what I pulled off this weekend? The frame. Or like, here, the keyboard. It's now ripped off. It's just like people would essentially lobotomize the laptop.
I mean, look, if I had to put up with that piece of shit like throughout my years in high school, then at the end, when I would graduate, I would probably destroy the shit out of it. Be like, fuck you, even though you got me through high school, but fuck you for ruining it. My life.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that reminds me, my freshman year of high school, they gave in middle school they essentially just the Chromebooks like weren't yours to have. It would go to each classroom, but they always stayed at school. In high school, my grade, my year, we were the first year that they said, hey, we're gonna give these to you, and you get to hold on to them for all 4 years of high school. And at your last year of high school, when you graduate, you can just keep the computer. And then because we're going to be getting new ones by then, anyways. And I was like, okay, cool. And then so my last year comes around, and on the final day, they're like, hey, we actually got to collect those. Now, it's just funny, but like I'm also happy because I don't think I'd want to have those because I have my own computer now, and it's just. No,
yeah.
I could not go back to those.
Yeah, tell me about it, dude. I'm the high school I went to, like, so I want to say for the first couple years of high school, the high school I went to was like pretty lenient on like you can either have your own computer or you're gonna need a Chromebook, and then I think senior year of high school. They decided to go like, okay, we're doing just Chromebooks now because apparently the school system works better when it's with Chromebooks mostly. So they just like get a Chromebook, or you're gonna have to either you get your own Chromebook or you're gonna have to get one from the IT guy.
You sure it wasn't a case of like just people deciding, hey, someone got a copy of Halo, let's play that in class, or Call of Duty and all that?
No, it was nothing like that. At least I don't.
Oh my God,
at least I don't think so. Maybe someone did get a copy of Halo onto the Chromebook.
There were a handful of people that I knew. There was only so many because obviously they were expensive, but there was a couple people I knew that had gaming laptops. And it sounded like they were starting up a jet engine each time they.
Oh boy, yeah.
It's like, oh, guess what? We're just doing spreadsheets. Well, I'm gonna go boot it up real quickly. Maybe a couple of gallons of fuel are needed, but we're gonna get it moving.
Yeah, for me back in high school, like obviously we couldn't play like high-powered games because the tablets we have were jack shit when it came to specs. But they could, yeah, that too. But also, there were some games that could actually run on those tablets, those being Halo Combat Evolved, the shitty PC port, and Call of Duty, and a bunch of other stuff, yeah.
Huh.
Like, one day someone just bought a copy of Halo, like, one where you didn't require a disc, and then just put it on a USB, and then just gave it to someone, and then it just started spreading throughout the entire school. It was nuts. And
that is awesome.
Oh, it was awesome. Cool. Yeah, 100%.
Cool.
That was throughout. I think it was throughout grade 9 and grade 10, and then around I think it was July 2014, so grade 10 for me. It got so bad that eventually the teachers had to crack down on it, as well as people using the tablets to do like use Twitter calls and all that. It was fucking nuts.
Yeah, I remember once it started for us, like they would start like blocking like every single website that wasn't school.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
School related. Oh, so I mentioned like a few minutes ago, unblock games. Does that ring a bell for either of you?
Yes. That brings back so many memories. Oh boy.
What about you, Miles? Does that make sense to you? What, like unblock games? Does that ring
unblock games.
Essentially, it would be these websites called unblock games, and there were tons of flash games pretty much on these websites that these people knew that these are going to be used by students across the U.S., which their schools block like the normal game sites. So these people essentially create just hundreds of these unblocked game websites, you would just pray that like one of the ones that you just loved that had all the flash games that you liked just did not get blocked by your school. And then if it did get blocked, you just like look for a new one essentially. Like that was the only way to be able to
Yep. That was how we got through middle school.
Unfortunately, we didn't have that. I just looked it up, but we did have like mini clips. I'm not sure if any of you guys remember it.
Mini clips wasn't blocked for you guys?
Yeah, for a time it wasn't blocked.
Oh,
I was about to say you guys
I know what you're talking
luxury.
about now.
Eventually, when the teachers cracked down on games and all that, the only website that I recall that didn't get blocked was something called coolmathgames.
Yes,
like
yeah,
that.
Oh
that
my God.
was my jam. Oh, what was it? There was Run 2. That was a good game. There was like some weird parking game. I can't recall. And a bunch of other stuff.
I know what you're talking about. There's like Papa's Pizzeria.
Yeah. That stuff.
Oh my God, those were awesome. I was so mad when they blocked mini clips. They blocked Cool Math Games. They were trying to block as many unblocked games as possible. There was another website called like Sword Shield Games or something like that. Oh my God, that's bringing back memories.
Oh man, like speaking of unblocked games, I just remembered Strike Force Heroes.
There's no shot. I was actually about to say that. I was gonna wait till you were done talking. That is insane. Yes, Strike Force Heroes 1, 2, and I forgot if there was a 3.
I only remember the first one.
I don't think I was around for that, unfortunately.
It's essentially a 2D game where it's like a single level game. How do I describe this? So you know, like in Donkey Kong, how it's just like one level, that's like one screen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was essentially like that, except it was like sort of semi-futuristic military, but also like the art style was really like it was super cool. It wasn't like plain pixels. And the premise of the game was it was like a shooter game, and you're going through all these different just like single levels. And
gotcha.
There's a story to it. That reminds me. Do you guys know a game called Peacemaker?
No,
not really.
It was the same sort of like Flash game. It was a wave-based game, and so it was this one set scene that you were in. And essentially, you would have 3 rows. You guys are familiar with Plants vs. Zombies, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it was essentially that. However, instead of you putting down plants, it was just you as a single guy, and you would have to move throughout 3 different rows and just defend. So the bad guys are coming from the right, you're at the left. And you essentially had to roll you had to roll up and down between 3 different rows to like defend it. You'd like just shoot them. And then you could crouch, but then to not get hit. But then of course now you can't shoot them. But then it would get super chaotic as new guys would come in, etc. But that game got so popular off of being a Flash game that they brought it to mobile for like Android and Apple. That was just a random flashback.
I'll tell you another game I remember playing as a kid so much is Bloons Tower Defense.
Oh, yep.
Yep. Specifically the third one.
Round of applause.
Yep. Bloons Tower Defense 3 was incredible. Like we all would compete against each other to see how far we could actually get into the game, and oh boy, it was so much fun. Like the moment you had like the super monkey was already insane, but then you could the super monkey fire the darts really fast. Then you upgraded it; it fired like fired lasers, and then it fired like the purple hyper beams and all that. It was just like, oh, this is so good. This is so good.
Yes, I remember that. I remember that.
It was such a good game to pass the time. Like especially when you'd finish all your assignments, and then in the last week of school for the term or the year, the teacher's just like, "All right, this is a free period. Just do whatever the hell you want." and we would just
remember. Oh, there was other ones that I played. Like, did you guys ever do any like parkour games?
The only kind of thing that comes to mind was Run 2 for Cool Maths Games.
Yes.
But other than that, no, nah.
I think it was called. Oh no! I was looking at something. It's sort of like there's tons of like flash games that me and my buddies would play, that were essentially these 2D left to right parkour games where you're essentially running through levels. That was like our big thing to see, like by the end of like recess, like who could get to like the highest level, because they were all flash games. Once you close the computer, like they didn't save. There was no.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I think what was it? Like me and some friends back in primary school, we used to play a mini clips game called Snowline, and like if it was on a rainy day and all that, we would try and compete to see who would get the furthest in the game before the bell rang. Like that game, I'm not sure if you guys know. Like
it's called Snowline.
Snowline. It's a premise where you have to like create like a pathway to get from point A to point B for Santa Claus.
I just looked it up. I remember this.
Yes, that was so good.
That's like one of those random. Oh my god. Okay, I'm actually going to miniplay.com and I'm just gonna see what comes up.
And there was also I think the game's called Deep Freeze. Yeah, Deep Freeze. That's what it's called.
A lot of these I have not heard of.
Oh, dude, you're missing out. It was the jam back then.
Yeah, because
I'm on mini clips. Oh, here's one: Fireboy and Water Girl.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
me and some people in high school played that.
I played a little bit of it in middle school.
Oh, Armor Games. That was the name of the website.
Yes, Armor Games.
Yeah, so I'm looking at what are called popular classic games, and it has like views. These are all in like the millions.
I'll tell you one game I actually did love so much. Animator versus Animation.
Oh, I'm gonna look that up. Wait. I'm not sure.
So it's based on an animated shorts that was uploaded to YouTube. It's like some guy
Alan Becker,
who has a cursor and creates stuff.
Who that is?
Oh, I'm familiar with this. I never played it though.
Yeah,
there was a game. With the YouTuber, just never heard of the game.
Yeah, that was like a thing back in the late 2000s, early 2010s.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, I've two. Ready? I have two. I'm gonna do the first one is one that I didn't play as much, but I remember Pandemic. Do you guys remember that?
Oh, Pandemic, yo.
Oh,
Pandemic
boy.
Incorporated.
The whole thing, we were trying to spread a pathogen across the whole world.
Yeah. I used to own that game on my iPad. That was hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh no, I was just gonna say, like, it was always so hard because like the moment that like you spread to a certain part of the world and then people would keep realizing, oh yeah, shit, this is actually dangerous. Let's close off New Zealand. Let's close off Greenland. Let's close off the bloody island. And then so you would pretty much infect the entire world except for one tiny island. The world gets fucked, and then the one tiny island's just like, oh, okay, we'll just wait till all this blows over, and then
the other one I want to mention was called Tactical Assassin. Please tell me you guys play this. This guy made like 9 of them.
Unfortunately, I don't know.
Nope.
It's called, or it was also called Stickman Assassin.
I unfortunately have never played it.
It was essentially these levels.
Neither have I.
Where you were essentially a hitman, and you were given orders about like you have to take out this guy, and it was just a single stickman mission where like everyone is a stickman, but like there'd be a couple that just had like a tie or like would have like a chain on or something like that. Just and that would be like the way that you find who you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, did you ever play? Oh, there was like a game called like Zombie Driver, or it was essentially a game where you're like in a car and you're running over zombies.
I never got to play that, unfortunately.
Gosh, what's it called? Because I think I know what it is. And wasn't it that the more zombies you killed, like the more you'd be able to upgrade your vehicle?
I think so. Yeah, you'd be able to like upgrade the engine, the wheels. All that stuff.
Shoot. What is it? Come on, brain. Earn to Die. Is that it?
Still around. Yeah, I think that's it.
Oh man.
I played that game quite a little bit. That was fun. Just taking care of zombies.
I can't think of any more at this point.
I can't think of other games.
I think we're just gonna call it there. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, there we go.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning into this episode, guys. This was awesome. Diving into childhood nostalgia and all of that. It was it's great. I think I might play some of the games we talked about here tonight. Oh man. Yeah. So,
the good old days.
Oh man. So, thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll be back for episode 2 whenever that may be. So, thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.
See you guys.
Peace.